Then when you look at a team like, for instance, a Geno Smith-led Seattle team, he's not turning the ball over. And when you're not turning the football over and you're scoring touchdowns, you can win games with a defense. And so I think San Francisco falls into that category. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady were winning because of the defense, and he wasn't turning the football over.
See, Key, the only concern I have about Jimmy G, and we've had conversations about it on this show, it just feels like sometimes in big moments it doesn't go right for him. So I get the pass to Deebo Samuel last night, which turned into a 57-yard TD. I get that. That should have been a pick six, though. Like, and
shoulda, woulda, coulda. Ain't that what you always tell me?
Yeah, I know. I'm with you, but I watched Peyton Manning, Eli on their Manning podcast and Manning cast, or whatever you want to call it, right? And he made Peyton Manning such a great point. He's like, do we really think that Jimmy G decided to throw the ball to Deebo Samuel high over his head on this play? Because if that were a mid-body throw, that would have been a pick six.
Yeah,
easily. And that's where the game could have gone like that.
But I could point to Tom Brady. I could point to Peyton Manning. I could point to a lot of quarterbacks. Did you think that they meant to do that?
Yeah, but
it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter, it hit his hands and he house called it. So it doesn't matter.
But Key, you and I have had this conversation even last week in the studio about Jimmy G. You were the one that actually brought up to me where you said, you know what? It seems like with Jimmy G, like he tends to mess it up more than he makes it happen.
Well, I don't think I said that. That ain't. I would never say that because his style and his philosophy I buy into, and Max could tell you I am on board for a quarterback that doesn't turn the ball over, that becomes pedestrian, 250 yards, 25 throws. I'm not looking for a dude to air it out 60 times.
I know what he's referring to. Wait, I know what you're referring. You're talking about. He was pointing out that in big moments, Jimmy G, and that's one of the reasons they.
But I'm not trying to get into. I'm not trying to get into a big moment with Jimmy. I don't need him getting into a big moment. I don't need.
No, but inevitably,
him.
Key,
that's what happens.
You're going to wind up in a big moment because you're probably going to make a playoff run with the dude.
Do you trust?
Yeah,
him
but I don't need him. I don't need to be in a situation where I need him to make a big throw. Because my defense should be able to get me the football in a short field.
No, but Key, realistically, though, you know it's going to come down to, you even mentioned it, 2-3 times a game, you're going to have to make the play. It doesn't need to be like in the Super Bowl with all the chips on the line.
But Jimmy's made those plays before. He's made them.
Listen, you don't get as deep into the playoffs as him by accident all the time. He's not just lucky. And even if you think, look, he is 34-15 lifetime as a starter now. He wins more than twice as much as he loses for a team that no matter who else is starting at quarterback with the same coaching staff and the same exact defense and a large sample size of games, loses more than twice as much as they win.
But Max is right about that. And another thing that I would say, he's been to an NFC Championship game twice. He's won the Super Bowl. He's gone to the Super Bowl once. If he would have hit that in the Super Bowl, this is not even a conversation we're having.
And he could hit that pass the next time.
I know that we're allowed to question Kyle Shanahan, but can we pretty much all agree that he's one of the top coaches in the NFL?
Yeah.
So what is it that we think Kyle Shanahan saw with Jimmy G where he decided to go and turn to Trey Lance?
I think he figures, he knows that
the upside is higher with Trey Lance.
No question.
What the end game will be.
As I said the last hour, if Mike said nothing, sometimes these coaches and front office people get talked into something even though that's not what they want to do. They get talked into it because they're listening to the outside noise.
Only the guy could do a little bit more.
They're in their meetings and they're telling them, man, this guy is just killing us. And they're not really looking at it, the big picture of it all. They're not looking at that record that Max just talked about. They're not looking at that he just somehow got you to the Super Bowl. Like, he really helped you get to the Super Bowl. They're not looking at that. They're like, he missed the throw. They're not saying, well, yeah, he missed that throw, but in another game he hit that same throw. They're not looking at it. And then what happens is they listen to the outside noise, and they get persuaded that they need to upgrade something when they actually don't need to upgrade it. You think that if Trey Lance was in there, they would have beat the Rams last night? Because I don't.
No, I don't think that. I'm just very curious to what Kyle Shanahan saw that made him want to put everything on the line and let Jimmy G go.
And maybe it's human nature. You get a little greedy. Oh, I'm doing all these great things with this dude. What if I had to do it a little better?
I'm telling you, that's what they do. They get talked into it.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.